Really, really a great job on this show too. And I guess I'm so nostalgic about this show because this is the first Clash of the Champions that I remember watching live. I was so in love with Sting as the world champion. Of course, I'm a little Stinger at the time, and it's a new era for the NWA and WCW. He finally bested Ric Flair after years of someone really waiting to hand Rick this loss. And I think a lot of people thought it was probably going to be Lex Luger. It winds up being Sting, and happens at Great American Bash in 1990. And we've did a full show on that recently, available in the archives over at grillandjr.com. But I'm curious from your perspective, what you thought of Sting as champion. It is, I guess there's two schools of thought in the wrestling traditionalist booking. You would have a heel champion who's going to go around and make everybody look good in the territory days. And that's certainly what Flair did. But now, when that's not really the case, maybe it makes sense to have a babyface chase. And that happened for a long time, but it's finally been paid off now. And now Sting is your champion, but that presents maybe a new set of problems. We need a challenger. And it certainly feels like you guys just sort of created one here with the Black Scorpion. What challenges did it represent from a booking committee standpoint to have Sting as your new champ now?
Well, some guys were stuck in their ways and believe that, to have they wanted to find a predecessor to Rick, being i.e. being a villain and being, able to have good matches with anybody and just get up, slip out of the match by the skin of their teeth. That was an old formula, and it was used in a lot of territories. But the way we were looking at it was, we're going to change that a little bit. Those of us that like the Sting move, and I did, that we're going to build a superhero champion, and we're going to create heels, and we're going to have a heel factory. So that was a game plan. Sting's, but that whole Black Scorpion thing. I don't want to say it killed Sting. It did not do him any favors whatsoever. And how we blew off the Black Scorpion thing was certainly didn't help. I don't know who still to this day who that helped. It built some intrigue on television, and it created a curiosity level that got us a 5 rating at that Clash. But past that, Conrad, I don't know how that whole Black Scorpion thing, how successful it was, yay or nay, because we had Ole was booking then, and Ole had the idea because TVS had come down and said, we need to have something big to build to get to the Clash. And then, of course, to get to the Starrcade, or I think Starrcade. Money in ratings. Okay, that's cool. So Ole didn't like the pressure. He didn't like being told what he needed to do. He had a timeline. We need this by Monday, this idea, blah, blah, blah. Work on it over the weekend, and we'll talk to you Monday. Well, he didn't like that either. So consequently, Ole threw together the Black Scorpion angle, almost as a whim, making fun of their demands for a hot angle. And so he just threw that together without thinking it through. In other words, most guys, including Ole, who's a very smart guy, by the way, he's a very smart booker, and very smart in the wrestling business. He just was an ornery old bastard. So what? But Cowboy was an ornery old bastard too. So was my dad, but I loved them all. So what the hell? It's just the way it is. Ole was he did it as a whim. He did it as a joke, I think, half-ass. And all of a sudden, it started getting over because we had our new hero, Sting. But man, the fans, all that buildup was great. But when you get in the ring, you got to be able to deliver.
Right.
So you say, well, that's why we have Rick as a blow off. Rick didn't want to do that booking. He didn't want to be that gig. He didn't want to wrestle the hood on and all that shit.
We should remind everybody that the concept here is the Black Scorpion is sort of like Bizarro Superman. So it's someone who, and of course, Sting has the Scorpion logo and the Scorpion Deathlock and the Stinger Splash. And so we're sort of the dark version of Sting. It's presented as being someone from Sting's past, and you could never see his face. And he's always wearing a black hood, and he's always dressed in all black. And I guess the rumor and innuendo that you can confirm for us is it's just Ole off camera doing funny voices with a deep voice. And that's the Black Scorpion.
Right. The Black Scorpion consisted of Ole Anderson and promos that were digitized. just audio, strictly audio. And he the more he got over and the ratings are okay, he felt like then the TBS is going to build a promotion to the Clash there, Clash 12, Mountain Madness, Mountain Dew, whatever it was. And so he just kept booking and stretching it out and stretching it out. And inadvertently creating very interesting episodic television. But here's the killer. The killer is we had no star. Ole had no star involved in mind at his arm's length. He could have had, but he didn't, to be the Black Scorpion. Because on national free television, with that big ass audience, you already quoted the numbers, and they were impressive. And there's not a wrestling company on television today that would not like those numbers. I promise you, not being a dick here, just look at the math. We gave Sting a lousy ass match. That match I watched, it never got its flow. It never clicked. It was not a good booking. And Al Perez, who was a Black Scorpion, was a damn good worker, but he didn't fit the mold of a rugged, mean, I'm going to hurt you heel, even with the mask on. It was bad placement for him and bad booking, really, really bad booking for Sting. So that really, I think, slowed Sting's growth down. The fact that Flair carried Luger to an amazing match again right before that. Then you start realizing, well, maybe we should put Rick back in the champ and where we have the heel champion and all the babyfaces are chasing him. I quite frankly, I like the other way around. I do like the hero standing tall, and he's building some very intriguing, different body types, presentation skills of villains. Villains are the most compelling entity in pro wrestling if they're really a villain and they're very skilled.
Well, maybe part of the problem is nobody really looked the part. And I'm confident that this Black Scorpion angle is going to be something we talk about for a long, long time. But first, we should mention sort of where we are as we head into this event. We mentioned this went down on September 5th. So here's the ratings on the way here. Power Hour, it's a 3.2 over the weekend of August 3rd through the 6th. World Championship Wrestling got a 2.7 and Main Event got a 2.4. Now, magically, all of this falls off. Power Hour goes from a 3.2 to a 2.6 in just 1 week, and it doesn't improve the following week. August 24th through the 27th, World Champion Main Event has a 2.3. So you started at 3.2 down to a 2.6, down to a 2.3. Week over week, no matter what program you're watching, it starts to look and feel like people are tuning out here.
Panic, creative panic. Instead of letting things smooth out and letting some guys get over, there was panic, and a lot of the eyes trying to search for the cause of the panic, unfortunately, were misguided and looked at Sting, and which is one of the most silliest things I ever heard of. But it was true. And a lot of the corporate people who loved him at first, and now they say, well, the company's only going to be as hot creatively as the champion. And he's the champion, and look where we are. So what does that mean? It means you haven't given him time to get over. We have not prepared any heels for him. We've overexposed him on television. He's not as special as he used to feel because he's overexposed. That's like somebody saying, well, Seth Rollins wasn't on TV Monday night type thing. Well, that's probably a good deal because that way he's going to get overexposed down the road farther, not closer. Guys don't need to be on TV every week. That's stupid. It really is. So anyhow, that was a story there. I think Sting got blamed for some stuff that the ratings that he didn't deserve to be blamed for. And that's just, those are the kind of, it makes you wonder how that's going to be going forward because, we're going to be in a situation with AEW where we're going to have a TV company they're our partner. They're our partner creatively and in every way. So it's going to be interesting to see how the creative ideas from both entities integrate and how those presentations are and how that communication will be established. Bet your ass it's got to be addressed because that's the way it is. I've already lived through this once. So, and really, Conrad, it's not a bad thing if you got a system in place that can funnel and feed and process all the ideas. All these guys at the corporate world are saying, hey, we're interested. We want this to be successful. Here's my idea. At least they're willing to embarrass themselves sometimes with a goofy-ass idea, but it's because they care.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.